proposed to be put in place had been enacted. It had.
Finally, before we go to Mr. Vega, voting process, was it free and fair? Even though we had APCs roaring in the
background. The mere exercise of lining up, picking a ballot, ticking it, casting your vote and going away was very smooth. Peaceful, calm. Really? Oh yeah. In most of the
one
areas.
Candidate wearing a white T-shirt and other clothes.
Yeah, that was one candidate.
A red beret.
Yeah, that was one candidate.
The military policewoman was running into a ditch.
At least from the polling stations which we visited, and there were quite a number, the process was calm.
It was calm.
Yeah, of course, there were incidents, isolated incidents, including in Soronko, including elsewhere, which must have cast a dark shadow.
All right, I'm moving on to Mr. Lubega. Of course, I kept wondering what he did with that beret later. Maybe he put it on top of a spear in his living room. I do not know.
No,
it's an unusual picture, a civilian, holding the beret, red beret of a military police. Normally, they are tough men, so I don't know what happened to that red beret. Maybe it's hung on the head of a spear in his corner in the sitting room, but let's not speculate. Mr. Lubega, was this election free and fair?
By all standards, it fell very short, extremely short of the tenets of a free, fair, credible, transparent, a non-violent election. Reasons, some of them have been given by the friend of the land friends.
Their leader, their president.
Yes, because they call themselves, they normally refer to as land friends.
True.
And myself not being one, definitely. I would like to comment a little bit on what he said, the elections, looking at the polling day. One would say the elections were transparent, free, fair, calm, and credible. Did you say?
I have not come to
well, it's all right. Like I said, I just wanted to refresh my mind. Number one,
they were calm and peaceful.
All right,
peaceful
in some places.
Okay. Number one, even that alone, which would have been qualified by the legal expert, fell short. There's what they normally call doing something under duress.
Yes.
If you were, if for example I went to CMI or military barracks and I had a statement, it cannot be accepted in the courts of law as something I did under free volition.
Yes.
And they say that is not evidence. We had people who voted when along the way they had met military personnel with red tops, others green, and all this, with their finger on the trigger in lines, starting in the morning of the voting.
Why did you want their fingers to be
on trigger? Under normal circumstances, it's
assault rifle.
In the military,
just beyond the ready.
In the military language, I don't know what you can call it, but we normally refer to it as alert first class, standby first class.
Okay.
And that means it is really an emergency and a deep crisis of an emergency.
Right.
That's when you have to put your finger on the trigger. But we had these ones everywhere, not only in Kampala or in one division of Kampala,
yes,
but almost around the country. People fear the military uniform, first and foremost. Secondly, if these people pass by, even if they don't talk to you, you already know there is danger. How do you expect? Many people were turned away because of that environment alone.
You think some people did not vote because they saw soldiers?
We saw many
patrolling in uniform.
We are not going there. I'm going to stay in my house. I think this election, you risk going out. And Kampala alone, this is this is Radio 1 for God's sake.
Yes.
You know always the traffic that is around here, even during the normal voting days.
Yes.
But what have you witnessed in the last 3 days?
Traffic was very slow on Friday.
The lowest ever witnessed.
Very
and that is number one. So can we say the election there was transparent, fair, calm? If we want to talk about peaceful, and that is the type of peace we are talking about, then it falls short. You have policemen with guns who went to polling stations. We had to complain. In my polling station, we had to complain. Why do we have these policemen with guns here at the very polling station itself, in police camouflage uniforms and other police uniforms? And again, you had now the military patrolling everywhere. If we are going to keep the peace in Uganda like that,
Yes.
then it is very unfortunate, because you cannot give any credit to such peace. If you went to Kandahar today, or you went to Afghanistan,
Yes.
or Iraq,
Right.
and you say it's very peaceful because you have not had a bullet shot.
All right.
But of course you have those military uniforms everywhere. Then and I think
it creates tension.
what I was buying into is that I agree with him that all the other aspects he has raised were true and correct.
Yes.
Even on this one, where you would say, okay, I will pass my judgment because on the polling day, maybe people went and cast their votes.
Yes.
It leaves a lot to be desired. And again, rigging does not come on the polling day itself or by putting your ballot in the box.
Yes.
Rigging started long ago, over 8 months ago. Can we do this? The Electoral Commission was very intransigent. Can we do that? They were very intransigent and adamant. They did not want to change anything, including the credibility that had been complained about by many observers, many stakeholders, and even the Supreme Court itself. The Electoral
Well, not
Commission
directly.
has been found wanting in terms of competence, even by the courts of law in Uganda.
All right.
They have never done anything to redress that. This time round, we had the worst organization, even at the ballot box area, where Electoral Commission, the officials of the Electoral Commission did not even know what to do, leave alone arriving so late. Many polling stations were opened up around 11
Yes.
here in Kampala. The excuse was we delivered the materials late.
Yes.
How about in Karamoja? How about in West Nile? And they did not extend the time of voting.
Yes.
And I tell you what, we said the voter turnout was low, but you needed to go to the polling station themselves. People braved the intimidation. People braved every aspect of disorganization. But again, many were turned away. On a polling station where I went, it was well documented.
Yes.
About over 100 people were turned away. People who, the elders of the area, of
Yes.
Mbogo and Kate Falau, who
Right.
have been voting since 1980,
Right.
CA and they had the voters' cards given to them by the Electoral Commission, used them several times, but they could not find their names on the voter register.
Right.
I would like to comment on this because of time. Why did these candidates participate?
What do you mean?
If they knew.
Why did they take part?
Yes.
Why did you go ahead and vote?
Part?
Yes.
Number one, we had another probably lost opportunity.
Yes.
One, to give Mr. Museveni and the Electoral Commission and this government a chance, those who are running this government, a chance to behave such that we can rebuild this country. We are also under obligation to give democracy a chance, if it could ever be given another chance, after failing for 30 years
Right.
to provide the same. You remember, 25 years ago, Mr. Museveni justified why we had to kill over almost 1 million people because of a rigged election.
Yes.
And in the 10-point program, he swore never to rig elections at all, or have a government that would do so.
Yes.
Today, we are rigging even worse than Obote himself.
Well.
And this was the opportunity. And the people have done it. They heed our calls to go and participate. It will be Ugandans who will manage to turn this one around, not foreigners. And that's why it is incumbent upon me, as a leader, as a Ugandan, as an active participant in this, to participate actively and to find solutions together with other Ugandans. And this is exactly what the Ugandans have done. We have exposed Mr. Museveni and exposed the Electoral Commission and exposed the military men in police uniform and those in military uniform.
Military men in police uniform.
In police
What do
and
you
military
mean?
uniform. Yes. Don't you know them? Major General Kale Kayihura.
Right, okay.
And do you want many others? The Kulages, who invited themselves without an emergency And we know, the land friend will tell you, how the Constitution defines an emergency in this case. But they invited themselves weeks before the polling day. They were all out there and patrolling without any special invitation. Not even an invitation from the Electoral Commission itself that we knew. Not even an invitation, the formal invitation from the institutions that are supposed to invite them, and later on they come and intimidate the public the way they have done.
Well, this is Spectrum on Radio, and our topic tonight: what explanation can the EC, that's the Electoral Commission, give about the countrywide complaints about the just concluded polls? We're asking the question, did this election meet the acceptable benchmarks? We're going for a commercial break. We'll be back. Stay where you are.
Let's offer you a credit card with